My name is Dale Jarvis, and I work with the Heritage Foundation of Newfoundland and Labrador. And I just want to make an introduction. This is Frank Cruz, who's the chair of the Heritage Foundation, who's in from Grand Bank to be here for the launch of our little booklet tonight. This was a little project that we started last year with the local museum and the local community. And we had Terra working on doing some oral history interviews with people. Terra's a graduate student in the Department of Folklore at Memorial University. They have a co-op placement program, a master's program in folklore. And so Terra was working for me last summer and is back again working this year. And we're very delighted to be here in this lovely space. Thank you, Karen, for having us and hosting us. We came and did some interviews here in this building 1 year ago, and it looked absolutely nothing like this. So it's lovely to be here and see it finally finished. I'm going to turn things over to Gillian Gould, who's a professor in the Department of Folklore. Gillian.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I don't have much to say, just how great it is to be here. And so I teach a public folklore course and work with students who are doing their cooperative placements. And of course, Terra is one of those students. And anyway, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, everybody. And yes, enjoy.
All right, I don't have too much to say. I guess first off, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming. It's great to see so many people here. I have to celebrate the community and this booklet. For anyone who doesn't know, I was going to say that my name is Terra, but you all know that now because Dale has already said that. And so I did the interviews last summer and I edited the booklet together. So this booklet kind of brings to an end the project that I was doing last summer. As Dale said, I worked with the Heritage Foundation as a heritage intern last summer, and I was hired to do an oral history project down here in Petty Harbour. And I completed 15 interviews with people in the community, and there's also a couple of interviews done in this building during the Arts and Heritage Festival. The interviews were compiled and reviewed for the booklet, and I just chose some excerpts which I thought kind of highlighted the themes that people talked about throughout the interviews. So growing up in Petty Harbour and Maddox, Cove, the children's games that were played were emphasized, and they led to some interesting stories of watching TV through a neighbor's window, or playing games of Gidley or hopscotch. Another important theme of the interviews was the hard work of the community members. There's lots of stories about cutting cod's tongues or catching tomcods, as well as washing clothes, delivering groceries, and raising children. Stories of community events such as Christmas visiting, mummering, card games, dances, and garden parties were told. William Chafe noted that they used to go to dances at the RC Hall, and the floor used to go up and down about 6 to 8 inches. So you can tell the community likes a bit of music and some dancing. Another major discussion point was meeting places in the community. So places like Engine Rock, local stores such as Weir's, and spots like the stand stick out in community memory as places where stories were told. As Phyllis Weir noted, general stores were once the center points for the community, where news got exchanged, and it wasn't only groceries were bought, tales were told. So I'd just like to say a huge thank you to everyone who took the time out to come down, and all those who shared tales, tea, cookie, slush, and lobster with me. Special thanks to the Helen Creighton Society and the Heritage Foundation for supporting the publication of the booklet, and Karen Zimmer for hosting the event. And I hope you guys really enjoy the booklet. And I've got a couple of excerpts here from the booklet, which I figured I'd read out, although I'm sure you've all got the booklet, and just so everyone knows, they're free for the taking, so make sure you take one when you go. The first section in the booklet is called Growing Up in Petty Harbour, and this one is a bit racy, but I thought this one was interesting to read. So, I never can remember being hungry, but I always can remember being cold. You would get up in the morning, and everything would be froze, You would be froze to death. But we never did have running water or anything like that. I always tell about that. What they would do is, you would have a bucket for your water, and you have a bucket for your washroom as well. What they would do is they'd buy a new enamel bucket, and first going off, they would use that for the water, because it was fairly new. And when it would get old, they would use it for the other bucket, right? But I always recall one time, and I tell about getting up one night and wanting to go to the washroom. But there was a new bucket up there where the old bucket usually was. And anyway, I didn't want to use it. I said, that can't be the one for the washroom because it looks too new, right? So I sang out through the grate. We used to have a grate in the floor where the heat would come up through the floor. And when you were singing out to someone downstairs, talking to them, you would talk through the grate, right? And I recall singing out to my mom, "Mom, can I please sing that new bucket?" She said, "Yes, honey, indeed you can." So lovely quote from Ron Doyle there. So the second one I got is just a quick one. This is actually where the booklet title comes from. So this one's from Betty Cheeseman. She was just describing hopscotch, actually. So there was no pavement then. It was all dirt road, and we would play in the schoolyard, hopscotch. We would draw out the hopscotch with our sticks in the sand, and we had lots of time and lots of fun. So there's lots of comments, lots of stories about growing up in the community, and the games that were played, and all the fun times that were had in the community. The next one that I've got there is from the hard work. So this one is just Jimmy Kiley reflecting on the hard work that the people in the community had. So Piddly Sticks Alleys. We were never into sports, right? Never. A bit of baseball, that's all, right? Never played hockey in my life, never knew how to skate, never learned how to swim. All we done when we was young was work. I was out fishing when I was 8 years old. We always fished with my father. So there's a couple of stories that was kind of a recurring theme. You know, going out fishing or helping out with the fishery. The other one I have here is Boxing Day tradition. So this one's from Phyllis Weir, and it's under Christmas Eve. Alright. But I remember the Boxing Day tradition was definitely you would be going. Well, not so much we would be going. The men would go from house to house and have a drink, you know, in each other's house, and Dad was always a part of that. I think sometimes they would even repeat, because I can remember lots of relatives and friends being there with Dad. So they would come and they would join him, and he would go with them and join in, and they would go back around, and maybe they'd come back again. So let's just talk about Christmas visiting. I got 2 more and then I'm done. So my last one here is about folk belief, so the belief of whistling up a wind. This one here is from Jack Walsh. I can remember one time this man and myself and his son, we used to knock around together. So we were going out to the cod traps this evening in the boat. 2 of us were sat down, and we were only young, you know, not old enough to go fishing or anything, but just to go out for a run with the men. And we were sat down in the boat, and we were going along. It was a make and break motor, they called it then. I don't remember which one of us started to whistle, and we knew nothing until down came the stick and hit the boards between the 2 of us, and he shouted, "Don't dare whistle in this boat," he said. "Whistle up the storm." So I thought that was a nice little one. And the last one I've got here is just about the stand, which was brought up a lot. I'm sure a lot of people here remember the stand or have distinct memories about it. So this one is just from Marguerite Weir. The men would be back and forth, smoking their pipes, and there wasn't much cigarettes on the go. Well, they used to make their own, roll their own. There would probably be 5 or 6 from down the harbour, and 2 or 3 from the north side. And the men, they would come down from the road that way, and they would all stand around on the stand. Some would leave and go home after half an hour, and a few more would come along to replace them. There was always a few men chatting away there. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for coming out. Hope everyone takes home a booklet, and I'd just like to say a really big thank you to everybody at the committee member who welcomed me into their homes. Thank you.
So I just want to say a big thank you to Terra. Like, this was a lot of Terra's work, and she found the funding to kind of pull the booklet together at the end. So if anyone here deserves another round of applause, it's probably... And I think that just about finishes off. I don't know, Frank, if you want to just say a closing word on behalf of the foundation, or I'm going to put Frank on the spot.
Like being put on the spot. The foundation, as you know, was originally began to preserve old buildings. But this work is a lot more interesting than old buildings. And a few years, I don't know how many years ago, in the 2008, the Tangible Cultural Heritage part started, and they've added so much to everyone, to the communities like this one. And I want to say this is really, from outside, this one was really beautiful. And I can tell from the book that the history is great. And you know what, I just glanced through it, but a lot of similarities from my growing up in Renbank. The only thing, the big difference was Renbank was very Protestant, very Methodist. So no cars. That's the only thing we didn't do. But we did everything else. And the conditions were very similar. But thanks for the invitation. Really enjoyed this. Enjoyed being here. Thanks.
Thank you. That concludes the formal part. The one thing I would like to request is that if you are in the book, I'd like to take a photo with the people who are in the book with Terra, maybe just out on the little deck here. So if you are brave enough to be in a photograph with Terra.
That's right, Gordy.
Before we break up, I just wanted to say that we're going to bring some cake out locally made. Angie Lee made some cake and some sweets as well. And this evening is there's no it's complimentary, but if you want to give a donation to the seniors committee, that'd be very, very welcome. Thank you for coming here, and please help us make this a community space. This is supposed to be for you first, and tourists in our bank account afterwards. You first, and let us know if we're not putting you first, because we want to. It's important to us.
So Karen, when are you open?
Well, we're open now, but we're open now every day. Every day. Maybe not Wednesdays. 10 to 4 right now, but you let us know if that's not good enough. Sometimes John hangs around longer than that. I like that. Yeah, so let us know.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
So people can come outside for a photograph.